Hello and welcome back to Modeling Tips 2. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to create panels from a base geometry like this without having to add in any extra geometry. So you can see that when I go to object mode, it has all these panels. Well, that's just from marking edges. And well, I did actually model in a little bit of extra stuff here compared to where we'll start from, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to show you one other strategy real quick as well before we do this one. And what that is how to add a subdivision surface modifier to something with n-gons. Now, neither of these will solve all cases, but you just use them, in combination. And so that's the point of me showing you both of these options so you can kind of combine them for your situation. All right, we'll start with this cube here, and I'll, make this base mesh here. So I want to show you something too. If you were to try to, model this, see how this is beveled on this side, and then it has a bevel right here as well. If you try to bevel something, just know that the order in which you do your bevels determines the outcome. So that's the two bevels, but you can see right here that it's gotten really close together. So the order in which you bevel things matters. So if I were to bevel this, see how it's bringing off this edge right here? And now I'll actually bevel like this. And you can see it's not close together. So just, keep that in mind that the order in which you bevel things does matter. Okay, now what we'll do is add the subdivision. So I'll hit Control and the 2 key on the top of the keyboard. And you can see it's really destroyed the mesh because of those n-gons and there's not holding edges and that sort of stuff. So how do we get to this? Okay, what we need to do is add a bevel modifier, but set the profile to 1 so it procedurally generates holding edges. So I'll go to Generate Bevel and I'll move that to the top. Okay, it's looking a little better, but still not quite what we're hoping for. So what we can do is go to Geometry or go to Profile and set it to 1. Okay, and I'll set the segments to 2. So if we just turn off this subdivision surface real quick and I show you this bevel, just look at this corner here. So without the bevel, with the bevel, and I'll adjust the width. So you can see how it's kind of generating procedural holding edges. This is the due to the profile being at 1. If I set it to 0.5, you can see it kind of rounds it off. But if you set it to 1, it won't really round it off and treats it more as an inset. All right, and so if I turn subdivision back on, well, that kind of is the solution there, is having this procedural holding edges essentially. And you could set the bevel to 4 for higher resolution. And of course, everything I'm going to show you in this video, the higher the resolution on the modifiers, the more it'll smooth out that mesh, but just got to be aware that it does add more and more geometry. It's kind of a compounding effect as well. So, the more bevels you have, the more subdivision surface will take into account, that extra geometry, and it adds up pretty quick. So just be aware of that, as you're working with it. But anyway, that is a way to smooth things out. And it does add a very high quality smoothing to your geometry as well. So let's look at creating this one. So I'll just duplicate this off, bring this over here, and everything is merged. Well, let's just go into edit mode on this one, and I'll hit M by distance, and everything is merged. And make sure also that your normals are the right direction. So Shift in will recalculate your normals. And so just make sure your normals are facing the right way. And yeah, that'll flip things, and it just won't work if the normals are facing the wrong way with this stuff. Okay, so what we can do is first just go ahead and mark this first area here, this first perimeter, as sharp. So I'll just select that and I'll hit Control E and mark sharp. Or you can just go to Edge and then do mark sharp. Control E is just this little pop-up menu right here. Okay, so we've marked that front perimeter there as sharp. Now what? Well, we can do an edge split modifier. So I'll go to Modifier, Generate, and Edge Split. Now, I'm not going to use edge angle because we're already using sharp edges. Okay, so it's splitting this geometry based on the sharp edges, which is essentially the same thing as coming in here and hitting V to tear that Okay, so it's the same thing as that, but it's doing it procedurally. So that way our geometry remains the same. Okay, now we can do is add a generate and solidify modifier. And we'll just look at this here. So you see how it's moving it out a little bit? Well, it's just solidifying that geometry. Now, there's a few settings with this that you might want to check. One of those is even thickness. That sort of fixes any, artifacts like in the offset that you might have. So even thickness. And also, I'm going to check only rim. Okay, I'll show you what only rim is, but let me show you one last thing we need to check, which is in normals, and check high quality normals. So you see this right here, this section? See the difference? That's because of that high quality normals. And in fact, if I go to this example and I turn off high quality normals for this one, you can see how this breaks pretty badly right here. So definitely have high quality normals turned on. Okay, and again, I'll show you what only rim is. So if I was just to add in a plane here and add a solidify modifier to it, or yeah, solidify modifier, I'll just add some thickness. You can see that it kind of extrudes like just a regular extrude. It's, added both sides, the top and the bottom are there. If you do only rim, well, it's kind of like a tray, right? It just extrudes up, but it doesn't keep the original face. Okay, so just showing you that. So this won't be a watertight mesh based on doing what we're doing right here, but that's okay. Now you could also go in and add a weld modifier, right here, and that might do the trick if you needed it to be watertight. But anyway, I guess, I'm talking to people that like to 3D print. So what now? Well, we're going to do a solidify modifier. So generate and solidify, or not solidify, but subdivision surface. Okay. So edge split, solidify, subdivision surface. Now this thing really doesn't look that great anymore. So what's going on? Well, yeah, it looks like, I don't know, this thing was made out of a candle and it got to the sun or something, but you can choose simple, okay? So Camille Clark will do a subdivision and a smoothing algorithm at the same time. Simple just does the subdivision algorithm only. So let me actually bring this back a level here. I'll turn off optimal display and you can see what that's doing. So it just subdivides the surface a little bit, adding, more geometry. So you can treat it sort of like how we did the holding edges procedurally with the bevel here. Well, in this case, we're just using the subdivision surface modifier set to simple as the holding edges. But it also kind of turns any triangles into, quads, and it handles, surface tension. It just does a lot, especially when, you're handling more than just like one beveled edge. That's why I was saying, these are just, you got to use them where you can. But anyway, let's add in another subdivision surface. And then this one will be set to the smoothing one. And I'll actually shade smooth. And there you go. So we use two subdivision surface modifiers. And I'll turn that off. But yeah, just be aware, this does add a good bit of geometry. But again, you can always set the viewport levels lower and set the render levels a little bit higher. So it looks, kind of ugly in the viewport, but when it renders, it will be at this resolution here. So, that is one strategy to create procedural panels. I'll just set these to 2. My PC can handle 2 at this scale. That's okay. And so I'll just show you cutting in a little bit more. You might want to turn this stuff off in edit mode so you can actually see what you're doing. And all you have to do is come in here and Control E, mark sharp. I'll just mark this back area off right here. And you might not even need to use the subdivision stuff. If you just need, procedural panels, you can just use edge split and solidify. But it does smooth everything out. So I'll bring that base mesh back over here. And I'll just, isolate these two. So you can see how much we've added with just modifiers and marking things as sharp. And on the other example, this one that I was testing out, I think I had the solidify down a little bit, the scale, the thickness. But if you ever run into problems where, you just need like things to close up a little more. You can always add a little extra thickness and then use offset to kind of put them back inside of each other a little bit. So you can adjust the offset and the thickness to manipulate this, and get it to where you need to. So you can see right down here on the bottom left, these like issues that are showing up as I move this stuff around. So it's just a bit of a balancing game, but I would set your thickness as low as you can, and until you're happy with that little panel offset. And you can hold shift. Hold shift will go a little bit slower, and then I would worry about your offset after. But I'll just set this to 0 and leave it about right here for now, and that looks good. Maybe a little thicker, and we'll actually add in, like I did on this one, this little cut right here. So I'll just do that real quick. I'll select this edge and I'll hit, let's see, which one was it? Oh, Shift 7 will go to front view for this edge. Then I can go to the knife tool and hit A and just add in a couple loops here, or a couple cuts with the knife tool, and that will align it to the view. When you hit Shift 7, that aligns to the view, and then I did knife tool at an angle of the screen angle at 90 degrees, so it just created two cuts perfectly aligned with this edge here. I'll just inset that, and I will hit Control E, mark sharp, and I'll extrude that back. Let's see, extrude that back, and I'll hit Control E and clear sharp for that back one there. Let's just bring this in a little bit. There we go. And if you want, you could handle, routing these down a little bit. I think I did some of that over here. Yeah. But there you go. That adds in this little piece up here. And then I just created this little channel here running down the back. So that's as simple as going to the top view and just knife tooling that in. So I'll hit A for snapping. And let's see I don't really recall every little step I did. Okay, so I had this shape here. I should have went up one more. And just running this across with the knife tool here. And I actually cut this short right here. So I'll just go to the back, K, A, left click, and then right click to, in that cut, then space bar. And I just selected this here, hit I, and then just hit Alt S to scale that inward on its normals. And then I think I just brought this down here, just using vertex snapping, something like that anyway. So let's just unmark this one, and I'll mark these. So mark sharp. And then you could mark these as sharp as well. And there you go. So that creates, some more geometry. That's about how easy it is to do that. And like I said, you might get this gap right here. You can always add physical holding edges in there to try to mitigate that. You can also use the solidify modifier. So just go down to edge data in the solidify edge data, and you can choose rim to crease that rim a little bit, and that will bring it in. But it has various issues. So if this is really round like this, and this is straight like this right here, well, because it's being cut right here, right? So if you crease that, it's like doing a vertex crease right here. So that rounded edge right here, okay, that rounded edge has to meet up with this squared off edge. So you just got to pay attention to what's going on when you're using this. But sometimes just doing a little bit of it might help. Okay. It just depends what you can get away with. So I did just a little bit of it and it was helpful. And then also, like I was showing you earlier, you could do the offset to try to, close that gap up a little bit if you need it, Sometimes it's not even worth fighting it, and just, if it's just a mock-up or whatever, that's fine. And, you can always add your holding edges still. And another thing you can do is go in and add that bevel that I was showing you on the other one. So you could use the bevel to add in some extra holding edges as well. So a mixture of all these techniques will probably get you the result that you're looking for, or at least very close. But anyway, I think that's it for this video, and thanks for watching.